Hello, I'm Ryan. I was the guy that was missing last week. But anyway, I'm just going to go straight to my story. So, it's a kind of like a story that I found hope basically through the journey that I took, right? And for the longest time, I just felt really lost. And I mean, on the outside, I look fine. I look like I'm like chill, like all good lah, no problem. But deep down, I'm like, yeah. But anyway, I was just doing things, and I was just kind of just getting myself distracted by learning new things, staying busy, and just trying to move forward in general. But I knew that I was stuck inside. I was stuck in like a limbo, and I just couldn't seem to find any real breakthrough. But spiritually, I knew God, but I just felt like I was wandering around, not really encountering Him. And I was just going through the motions and carrying a lot of baggage, on the inside. But when church announced the prayer and fasting week, honestly, I wasn't that excited. I was kind of just like, oh man, not eating sounds a bit uncomfortable. It felt a bit uneasy. But thanks to PC, she actually encouraged me to do a water fast. And she told me, just start with water. It's fine. It should be quite easy. And in my brain, I was like, yeah, should be fine, because I'm not a really big foodie. I can go a day without eating, I'm fine. So I was like, it should be fine, it should be good. But, I was wrong, because I realized that the challenge wasn't physical, it was actually very spiritual. So that week really changed me in ways that I didn't really expect. I was just, doing my usual things, but as I was going on with my days and with my week, the distractions were stripped away, and everything that I was trying to avoid basically came up. It started to surface. I became more aware of my negativity and my fears and areas in which I have quietly given up in my life. And, something very unusual happened actually, because I started to have very vivid dreams, because I'm not a person that dreams often. But I started to have vision, and I took it that this was God actually trying to get my attention. And He was trying to remind me that He is still here and that He's still speaking. Fast forward, the fast was a very good reminder for me to slow down, to listen and to face what was really happening inside my heart. And honestly, one of my deepest struggles was actually finding hope. I just felt really purposeless, and I indulged in escapism, whether it's through like video games or even alcohol sometimes. And because of that, for years, I just felt stuck. But during that week, something very powerful happened. I opened up to my pastors. I opened up about what I was going through. And they were very merciful. They were not judgmental. And that weight that I was carrying for the longest time was lifted. And from that moment, I started to have breakthrough. And for the first time in forever, I began to have hope again. And what surprised me the most was God didn't just bless me and give me hope, but He also gave me a lot of different blessings. And one of them was, I was having breakthrough in my family. And, things like relationship and finance was like stuck for a long time, started moving. And I even have a miracle experience with a massive provision for my education. And I'm really blessed for that. And I just felt like God was slowly realigning things in my life, piece by piece, into His purpose. And honestly, looking back now, the fast wasn't really about food. It was actually about surrender. It was about choosing obedience even when I wasn't ready, and trusting God even when I didn't fully understand what He was doing. And that week of prayer and fasting woke me up spiritually. It showed me that breakthrough doesn't come from trying harder. It comes from letting God move. And God met me in hesitation, and He showed me that surrender is often where purpose begins. And if you're someone who is also looking for breakthroughs, I highly encourage you to join Victory Weekend, because for me, that's where my spiritual freedom began. Thank you.